Main Talk. Let's talk about hair. It's not your average conversation. It's not your average conversation about hair.
Welcome to Main Talk, Conversations About Hair. I'm your host, Deshaun Bullard, where every week all we do is talk about hair. On this show is not your average conversation about hair. For those of you guys who don't know me, I am a licensed cosmetologist, which means I do know a little bit of something about hair. I'm not a blogger. I'm also a celebrity stylist and the owner of Nutritress Perfect Hair Products. Today we're going to have interesting conversation about parents who have turned over hair care to their children. We're going to have this conversation with our host today, Keisha and Kai. You will see a photo that we just put up on the screen about a little girl who obviously somebody decided to put a quick weave in her hair. Why are we doing this? Why are we trying to force little kids to grow up so fast? There are so many people who are losing their hair. The studies show that 30 million women in the world today suffer from hair thinning and hair loss, and 70% are African American women. And it is because of all the weaves, wigs, tight braids, ponytails that we do to our hair. But now we are finding out through research that children are starting to lose their hair at a younger age. And it is because of things just like we just seen. Kids wearing weave. What we know is that hair is generational. The way my mother taught me about hair care, guess what? It's the way that I'm going to teach my kids about hair care. So if this generation of parents' definition of hair care is to throw a weave on it, what's going to happen with the kids? They're going to throw a weave on it. What do you guys?
I was just thinking that when I was a little girl, my mother gave me dolls. And you plaited the doll's hair, you braided it, you combed it, you brushed it. And now the kids are kind of replacing dolls with electronics. Mm-hmm. So that may be a problem that the kids are not learning how to do the hair because things are being replaced. But because I watched my mom do my hair, my grandmother do my hair, and take the time and put the care in, then that's what I did to the dolls. Mm-hmm. I did whatever to the doll they did to me. So that helped me, when I had a daughter, learn how to do her hair from watching my mother and my aunts and my grandmother do our hair. And I don't think that's, like you said, hair is generational. I think because there are so many other things that's going on in our community that we kind of got out of the whole, let's do your hair, let me show you how to do your hair, let's stick with dolls. There are a lot of, because of evolution, which has to occur, there are a lot of things that are now out of the loop of what should occur between mother and daughter, grandmother and aunt, who are teaching us how to do hair.
Right.
The one thing that people need to realize is that everybody is not going to have long hair.
Right.
Everybody, it's like in your genes. So most people look at my daughter and they always ask me, how did I get her hair like that? You know, everybody can have healthy hair, but everybody's not going to have thick, long hair because it's in the genes. And a lot of these parents, they want, look with the babies, with the wigs. I mean, have y'all seen that? They making
baby bangs.
Baby bangs, and it's babies with little wigs on. Like little babies, they have on like a wig, and one of them I told you looked like Guster from Sanford and Son.
Right.
The little baby with the little wig, just one great.
Right.
But it was a wig, and we just couldn't believe it.
I think what it is our view of, like Kai always says, self-hate with ourselves. We have little babies, they're 18 months, we see them in the airport. We want to rush our kids to have this long, beautiful hair, and they're not going to just have it. Allow kids to be kids. Allow them to have the little bitty ponytails. You know, you put the little ponytails, one here, one there. To us, that's not cute anymore. So now what we see is we see parents putting Canacolon fibers in their kids' hair, which is the braiding hair that we use in the braids. And so now kids' edges are starting back here, and they're falling out sooner. Even if they are putting ponytails in them, they're pulling them too tight. And so now kids are losing their hair. But more importantly now, because parents see weave as part of their hair care regimen, it's what they do every day. When your kids look up to you, they say they want their hair like mommy. So if you wear hair color in your hair, I remember when my daughter was younger, I had some gold highlights in my hair, and she was looking in the magazine, she wanted gold hair. So if today's generation of women see weave as the hair care for themselves, they're going to pass it along down to their children. And I don't really buy the fact that it's because it's young mothers, because my mother was a young mother. My mother had me when she was 17 years old, but still, she didn't do adult things to me. And with all of this human trafficking and all of these girls out here being kidnapped and men looking at young girls, we are really teeter-tottering on a line of trying to make our young kids look too grown. I think that we as a community, and the reason why we have these conversations, we really want to make excuses. If we see something that is out of line, if we see a young girl who has a full, if she's 5 years old and she has a full sew-in with her hair styled like a basketball wife, the first thing we want to move to is that don't be fast to jump to conclusion because the girl may have cancer. That's not really what you're saying. What you're saying is that you do that to your kids' hair, and that it's acceptable to you. So therefore, we don't want to be corrected, and that's a problem that we have in society today. We don't want anybody to correct us. We don't want anybody to correct our kids. And if someone is wearing weave that looks like that, that's inappropriate.
And I think some of the parents are just flat out being lazy. Because when you put weave in, you don't have to comb it. It's just there. You can go, do it for days. I know my child has thick hair. She does. And when it's time to do her hair, it's like, oh, I got to do her hair. But at the end of the day, I got to do it. I can't just let her go out uncivilized and not look appropriate. I got to show how to do it. So a lot of it is time consuming. You have to put in the time and the care, but you have to also put in the time and care with yourself.
Exactly.
So you're not, like you said, kids mimic us. We're the first women that they love. They want to be whatever we are. So if they see us doing one thing, that's what they want to do. But it's also about being lazy, and we have to teach our kids not to be lazy. And that's what we've done, and wigs do. It calls you to put it on and just go.
I'm glad you brought that point up, Kai, because even when we put our kids in braids, which is an acceptable hairstyle, a lot of parents put the braids in their kids' hair and they will leave it in for months at a time. I mean, and then again, this will cause hair loss early on. It does take time and care to style your kids' hair at home. But I want to move to the topic of relaxer, because we've had this conversation about kids not wearing relaxer, especially in the whole crave of relax versus natural. We have had this whole conversation about at what age is a good age to put relaxer in kids' hair, or if kids should have relaxers at all. We've been hit up on Facebook so many times and on Twitter so many times about a picture that you posted of your daughter that she has, and you'll see her daughter in just a few minutes. Her daughter has long, beautiful, luxurious hair, but she has had a relaxer in her hair since how old?
Since she was 5.
Since she was 5 years old. And when we posted the picture showing how beautiful her hair was, we were attacked because she said that she put a relaxer in her daughter's hair at 5 years old. Instead of saying that, wow, her hair was beautiful, the first thing again, we were attacked.
By the natural Nazis.
By the natural
My
Nazis.
thing is, what people need to understand is that relaxers don't damage the hair. It's the people who put the relaxer in. Because if you're trained properly, you can have healthy hair. It's the people. It's not the relaxer itself, because the relaxer can't damage the hair. Because you go in the salons, and I have had people say, oh, just let it sit. Like, you don't let it relax.
You don't, right.
You know, because for one thing we need to understand that the hair is not supposed to be 100% straight.
Exactly.
And that's what people fail at. The hair is only supposed to be 80%, up to
80%.
straight. So you're still supposed to leave some natural curl in it. And you're also supposed to protect the hair, you know, because once it's relaxed forever.
Exactly.
You have to cut it off.
Exactly.
So the hair that's already relaxed, what happens is the parents doing the relaxers at home, and they're overlapping over the relaxer. And that's where it's becoming damaging. I tell people, you know, when I was in the salon, they come in, I want, you know, you're going to bring your child in just for this couple of hours, but are you going to continue to bring her in?
Exactly.
If you're not going to continue to bring her in, I'm not doing a relaxer on her hair.
Exactly.
Because guess what? You're going to go home, I'm not going to see her for another 6 months, then when she come back, her hair is broke off and it's damaged. So I wouldn't do it. I don't advise you to do it. I'm a hairstylist. I'm a licensed hairstylist. So I could put a relaxer in my 5-year-old hair.
Exactly.
Because for one, you might just call it lazy, but you know, I was in the salon and my daughter's hair was frizzy. I couldn't do nothing with it. I put braids in it. I did this. And then when she came to me and she said she wanted her hair, she wanted curls, but she couldn't wear curls, and she was starting kindergarten. And she wanted curls in her hair, but she couldn't get that. And she seen me, I said, well, when you're older, you'll get one. But she seen me put a relaxer in another little girl's hair. And children remember everything you say.
Yes.
So this is what she said. She came over, she was like, what is she getting? And I said, she's getting a relaxer. But she said, I thought you said that little girls couldn't get relaxers.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, she probably did. I was
Yeah.
You know, but I knew I was going to be able to take care of her hair.
Right.
And it's been healthy ever since. It has been past her bra strap, and I have cut it up to her shoulders, and it has grown back.
Exactly.
So you can have a relaxer and have healthy hair.
I'm glad.
We tried the natural.
Exactly, tried the natural, but it didn't work.
Yeah,
And again, natural hair doesn't work on everybody. Every child shouldn't have a relaxer, and every child can't be natural. We had the same story with my daughter. When she was younger, you would think somebody was killing her if you would comb her hair. So at 5 years old, we did put a relaxer in her hair, and she wore a relaxer maybe for about 5 years. She started swimming, so then we went natural. So she wore her hair natural for a while, but as she started getting older, she wanted to wear her hair straighter, and it started frizzing up. So then I think we moved to like a keratin smooth and natural treatment just to tame the frizzy hair. Then we went back to a relaxer. The bottom line is that as long as you have a professional that knows what they're doing, kids' hair can be healthy. I did the same thing with my nieces, Jasmine and Joycelyn. When they were with me when they were younger, I put a relaxer in Jasmine's hair. I think she was like 7, and then her little sister said, I want a relaxer. I want a relaxer in the hair, but I was doing it, but I'm a licensed cosmetologist, so I do not recommend that you do relaxers at home unless you bring them into a salon, bring them into the salon where there is someone who is supervised and someone who is trained to do that.
Well, I'm not a licensed cosmetologist. Mine is natural.
Right.
I just need to wash it, and I need to go. But also for me, products are important when I do my child's hair. Since she's been born, I've tried lots of products. And with Nutritrick products, it makes her hair soft and manageable, and the process is not as tiring for me because of the products, because of the consistency of how her hair is once I do it. So having products that works for you also helps with doing the kids' hair at home.
Exactly.
You can't shampoo with swab.
You can't shampoo with, exactly.
And I ask people, what do you use? Swab, EO5.
Right.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I can't afford that shampoo. But your baby has on Jordan.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
That's what you
get what you want. Exactly.
Maybe we should bring the girls up.
Yeah, we're going to bring the girls up, but I want to make this last statement that we have to really, really pay attention to what is really happening with our girls' hair. I had a conversation with my daughter, and she said that majority of the girls in her middle school wear weave. And some schools actually have laws against how long a child's hair can be if it's not naturally long, because someone could get hurt with them pulling or playing games with hair in school. But we really, really have to look at the appropriate age for our kids to wear hair extensions. We know that if they're in a dance program or if they're in some type of, something, performing arts thing that's going on, you can put clip-ins in. But as far as braiding their hair and gluing their hair and putting tracks in, that's just not appropriate for a child that's in middle school, because you're hindering their hair progress early on. And I find out that parents who do have hair loss as an adult, they tend to pass that down to their children early on, and their children don't even really have hair loss. So what we want to do is take this time to show you how kids are really supposed to wear their hair and how they can have natural hair. So let's bring out the kids. Thank you, girls. Thank you for watching Main Talk Conversations About Hair. We got a giveaway, our Edge Repair follicle treatment products. These products are great for your edges. So if you or someone you know is experiencing hair thinning or hair loss around the edges, Nutritrick's Edge Repair products is the solution for you. Filled with 3% Procopil, which are research-proven ingredients to grow your hair back. We'll see you next time on Main Talk Conversations About Hair.
Let's talk about hair. It's not your average conversation. It's not your average conversation about hair.